Well, good morning. Welcome to what is apparently Game 4 of this really exciting series of A Link to the Past Randomizer League playoffs. It only seems like it was yesterday where Ravis and I were here commentating for Big Dunka versus Kermit in a very exciting game where Kermit needed to pull out the win in order to keep Team Hime alive in this series. And, oh wait, it was actually yesterday, wasn't it? You know what?
Yeah, feels like a little bit like a déjà vu.
Yeah, you know what? We're back here for Game 4, and you know what? Maybe to these runners' chagrin, happiness, or just a little bit of disappointment. Yesterday, as you mentioned, Ravis, we were here. Game 3, Kermit pulling out the 7-second victory over Big Dunka in casual boots. We got to start out with a sword and boots. What do you see here, Ravis? What does say under Game 4? Does it say it's swordless?
Yeah, we're taking away the boots at least for a certain time, or potentially for the whole seed. We take all sorts away, so this sort of lumberjack will only be 20 rupees. And also we switch from standard to open, so I mean the opening itself is very familiar for both of them. So the regular open you start with nothing and you have to do away, but you will never find a sword here. So we are looking for that hammer.
Yeah, so Ravis, I know that in the last race, you gave us some inside knowledge on your teammate, Kermit, and you said that he was not going to check Lumberjack after Sanctuary. So do you have any type of similar intel on what Kermit is going to do today and regarding that Lumberjack
Let me see, I have to rewatch. But we're starting. Give me a second.
Okay. Well, okay, so we actually see some pretty divergence. So Kermit starting in Link's house. Big Dunk is starting at Sanctuary, so at least he's a little bit closer to that Lumberjack check, but nothing really of value. Got a quick map check. Looks like I did see a blue pendant up at Hera. Looks like other regular crystals otherwise.
Yep. So, little intel about Kermit. Since these guys didn't have too much time to practice the mode since yesterday. It's, I think, 18 hours ago or something like that.
Yeah, it's less than 24 hours since all of us were back here for a Game 4. It's I mean, not only is this like these guys got rando in their blood, right? They've got such endurance, for this game. That they're just interested in getting these races out of the way. Looks like actually as soon as possible.
There's a blue med on Lumberjack. That's not something you want to see. But Kermit said his practice basically is summed up by watching a Swordless Seed from Willard. So
okay.
He got some good practice. He's done all the bosses, I guess. I hope in his mind.
Okay, yeah, so at least even actually watching somehow the bosses are defeated with, as you mentioned, we're gonna really want to find that hammer sooner rather than later, because a hammer of course does temper sword level damage. Not that of course we're gonna see any source today, but it is certainly gonna be our primary source of offense. Alright, so Dunka, going through, I guess, looks like at least the northern part of the light world, finding a shovel here in the drop-down spot. So this is actually being pretty convenient since he's going to route Kakariko, or at least, light world from north to south. He's going to be able to visit the last grove as it's more of like a, more or less, natural route. Alright, Kermit, though, looks like he might have to do a little bit of backtracking, or maybe he'll just save, the shovel check for later when he eventually goes down to Lost Woods.
Yeah, farming some additional bombs. Again, that's open start, so we have to find our resources before we can really do big checks. I mean, Dunka has 3 bombs, luckily on the mushroom spot, so he can do the blind shot and well immediately.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, of course. One of the things that I don't know if we consider. Yes. Oh, and Dunka finding our actually. Okay, so this is one of our other major changes here in Swordless mode. In that there is one bow exactly. I believe the other one is replaced by a single arrow in the item pool, but it is bow and silver arrows. We do not have to, in this case, worry about finding those silver, especially when we need to go fight Ganon. Hey, didn't we just see that on the Lumberjack?
Yeah, that's actually pretty nice, because I was worried that these runners have to finish the seed on Green Man in the end.
Alright, so Kermit, though, looks like he's doing... Oh, no. So
no, you have to go to the left. Just go to the left.
Oh, poor guy.
No! What are you doing?
Okay, so Kermit trying to do some game knowledge in that he wants to sell the bee to the bottle vendor, which will give you 100 rupees. But, unfortunately, if you hadn't activated the flute yet, the bird takes the bee's attention, and then Kermit now is sad because he doesn't have 100.
But that's not important. First of all, there's a sword where we found our 20 rupees in the back of the well. But if he just goes a little bit to the left, like above the pots on the left of him, then the bee comes back and flies to him. You just have to be far enough away from the flute activation spot.
Okay, so
he could have used it still, but he just needed to stand a little bit more to the left.
Okay, all right. So team meeting, or this is an unofficial team meeting for Kermit. Maybe potentially when you watch this back, this is gonna be good knowledge for you later on.
So look at Danka. He's gonna be. No, he's standing too far to the right. If he's going more to the left, then
poor Danka.
Wow.
You know what? This is gonna
Come on, that's basic knowledge. What is happening? You guys are so long. That's not the first time you did this.
So this is going to be good knowledge and a good lesson for both of these runners. We actually do see a lot of parity, in our last game, right? Dunka and Kermit ended up doing some of the same things. Like they both dropped down to Hera big chest instead of, bomb jumping. Both didn't do diver down when they were in swamp. And you know what? We've got some good parity with the bees here as well. Both runners, unfortunately, going to be a little bit poorer than they would like to be, leaving Kakariko, but
I feel so good that Ari is actually saying double team meeting. Honestly, that makes me feel so good.
Everyone is on equal footing. So I believe in the interview yesterday, like Kermit did mention, and also, he kind of mentioned earlier that, he's probably not the most familiar with Swordless. He probably played like 3-ish Cs or something, watch Willard do some practice. Dunka, I think, is not really that big a fan of this mode either. So, we've actually got, I would say, a pretty even matchup on our hands. So this is going to actually be quite exciting. Not going to be a lot of skill parity, at least, on the opening.
Yeah, I totally agree there. I mean, Kermit is gonna find his shovel now. He's gonna be like, that's not fun. 3 bombs and the shovel up here. That's not cool. Also, one fun thing that we did not mention yet is that we are in swordless, curtain-free, basically. So we don't need a sword for Ganon. I mean, without swords, not possible otherwise. But yeah, we could use that bug net, for example, to kill Ganon. So if we see that, that might be an indicator to go to Ganon.
Yeah, that's actually one of the very interesting things about swordless mode. So if we, of course, do find that hammer, we are going to be able to destroy Agonim's barrier. And then, of course, we have hammered in order to fight Ganon. But, as you mentioned earlier, if we find that cape and the curtain's already cut,
I mean, they have silvers, right? So the climb is not gonna be that hard.
No, but fighting Aghanim itself, right? It's gonna be a bit more sketchy.
Yeah, but with a bug net, I think it's doable. At least you shouldn't get hit, since like it's been. Oh, and we get half magic as well. So even that burner already looking pretty juicy.
Yeah, no, I mean, and of course, Berna, like, so just being in swordless, right? A lot of people think, swords are, really great for offense, right? Especially you want that tempered sword. You not only get some really nice range, you have, you basically kill enemies in one shot, most of them, but swords are actually surprisingly defensive as well. For example, when and if our runners end up getting boots, ever dash without swords, everything in your way, it basically has to stop you, right?
I mean, that's basically it, right? The best defense in this game is your offense in that case.
Yeah, and exactly, exactly. We want to be able to have that sword in, as we're seeing here, swords are not going to be available in this pool. Alright, so I'm not sure if we have too much more divergence, but looks like at least Dunka right now is giving us a tour of South Shore.
I think Kermit's gonna do the same, but I could see him go to Eastern. Looks like no, we're just going regular.
Okay, yeah. I mean, right now, so we do, of course, have that really nice bow and silver arrows, and Eastern, of course, being a crystal dungeon, we are going to be able to make our way through there, but, it wouldn't necessarily maybe hurt in order to see if we can get a bit more ammunition or a bit more safety, to our name before heading over there. Dunka, though, looks like we are going to make over, and check Akina pretty early.
So just to answer some questions in chat, Lumberjack had another mail upgrade, and also yes, this was Kermit's choice. The lane picked in Roger against me, and in game 4 it's our choice, and Kermit picked
choice.
Roger.
Yes, that's a very kind word for you to use.
I mean,
it was Kermit's decision, maybe.
I'm a little surprised about that because usually I would see him playing MC Shuffle because that's another open, right? You're just looking for items. Your keys are still in your dungeons, but I think with the not knowing what crystals and pendants you have without the maps in the and the compass in the dungeons, he didn't feel too good about it. I don't know. Like, I would have sure guessed he would go for that, but he went for Swordless and also needs to be a little bit careful. These mini Moldoms.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, like, killing mini Moldorms with, like, anything. Yeah, I mean, even swords included is
I mean, they could have used Burner, right? So with half magic. Fine, but...
Yeah, and then, of course, both runners, including Kermit, does have Blue Mail. Ooh, speaking of half magic, we do find an early Ice Rod, and looks like actually Sank Card as well. Duncan actually taking your advice. He's listening to you and, basically taking care of these mini Moldorms. No problem.
Yeah, and I was just thinking when I saw that fairy, the next one is gonna drop full magic again, so... Easy peasy for Duncan.
Yeah, actually, so Bravest actually demonstrating that you have some knowledge here of the price packs. This is also going to be something I think that is actually slightly more emphasized, for runners. Again, we are in swordless. Runners have to be a little bit more creative when taking out enemies. So managing resources, right? Knowing when you're going to be able to, see if you can farm out bombs, farm out arrows, farming health. Certainly going to be very, very advantageous.
Yeah,
please,
I mean that's why when I'm in these shoes of these runners, I probably would take the time and see what the stun price is, just to know what my options are over the whole of the seat before I need it at some point.
Yeah, and of course we did pick up that red boomerang, so maybe Duncan's actually going to give us a bit of a taste. It's a little bit maybe more, I don't know, like slower in this case because they don't have, like in this case, like a permanent weapon where I don't have the hammer, so you can wait for like a bomb explosion, or maybe these runners don't want to use like their very few arrows. Man, I want to test it immediately. Alright, Kermit though looks like he's gonna try and do a fake flipper setup. This of course you want to try and transition 1 pixel away. Alright, yeah, it's a little bit harder of course to set up, without boots.
Yeah, also, I mean, if you can use bombs to bomb yourself onto the edge of the screen if you get bombed from the right.
Yeah.
So well, I mean, yeah, you take a little bit of time investment, but if you learn to pick up the bomb at the right moment, then you can use that time picking and bringing the bomb to the right spot. So you save some time.
Yeah, I'm just kind of looking at Kermit's like bomb inventory supply and his health, and I'm not sure if he maybe necessarily wanted to take that investment.
Yeah.
But hey, you know what? We got bombs for our trouble, at least, and we get a little bit more. Oh, man. All right, yeah, so Duncan picking up that book. I'm sure he's really happy that he went over to Agino just like 2 minutes ago.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for Duncan. So Kermit is going to go and take out Eastern. I think with Blue Mail 6 hearts, yeah, nothing to worry about, even with no fire source. You have a blue cane, you have fairies to get an Eastern, so
yeah, and of course, Eastern Palace being the very first dungeon, official pendant dungeon of the game, right? We are supposed to find the bow there in the vanilla playthrough, so certainly this is also going to be a pretty good opportunity to stock up on some arrows from Kermit's side. Duncan, though, you know what? He's actually going through the real first dungeon, of the game, which is Hyrule Castle. So there are going to be... Actually, I don't think we found the map yet. We haven't seen Dark Cross. So hopefully there are going to be, 3 items back here, making all the way to Zelda Cell. And then we don't have to necessarily worry about anything that's actually going to happen in Dark Cross.
Also, a little fun fact. These blue guards are actually killable with the Ice Rod.
Yes, that is also true.
Interesting that he's not using it. I mean, it's just a minor thing. Don't want to criticize like these decisions, but thought maybe Duncan would go for that. And the map has to be in Zelda Cell, I guess.
Yeah, actually, I think was that all the items? Because we saw all 3 in the back of Escape, and then we saw 2 items in the front. So actually, that means it was actually
the key is in Dark Cross, and the map is. Oh, what a nice.
Yeah, no, that was that is certainly very heads up.
I want to have these in my races. Oh, and see what Duncan's doing. He's doing the exact thing.
Yeah,
He
looks
bumped
like
himself
Dunka.
to screen edge and then easily transitions.
Good thing that you ended up explaining that earlier, so that we just get a live demonstration on Dunka's side. You know, this is teamwork, you know, at its finest.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we are on the different teams, but
you know,
maybe
we're
at
all
some point, who knows?
we here, Ravis, we're all friendly. You know, we're all on the same team, right? You know, it is just basically, you know, the rival right now between Kermit and Dunka. All right, so Dunka at least is gonna be able to fill up his mushroom.
And there your Mitts. Mitts in Eastern.
Mitts not on pendant helmet today. That's gonna be really nice.
Hoggers.
So we are of course looking now for our Moon Pearl in order to actually get access into the Dark World. Of course, we would really again like that hammer. That would, of course, not only be, you know, our main source of, you know, offensive power, but, you know, also would let us basically route the Dark World a bit better. And of course, you know, because we have no source with that book that Dunka has, if we want to check tablets as well, we are going to have to need a hammer in order to actually claim the prize.
Yeah, and doing Eastern now is really great for the runners because you're low on resources. You don't know really what's coming up. You can manage an easy dungeon. Also, we know Misery Maya is green pendant. You fill up arrows. You get your first crystal. You know, gives a good feeling early in the game.
Yeah, and you know, you're mentioning Kermit coming here with 6 hearts blue mail. Somehow, you know, they found like 3 more heart containers along the way since you made that statement like 2 minutes ago, Ravis. You know, Dunka's, you know, not certainly shy himself, having 8 hearts. You know, health-wise, I think these guys are gonna be just fine.
Yeah, but Eastern doesn't have our Moon Pearls, so we're kind of looking to Desert or Zora.
Yeah, that's also a very good point. You know, we don't have flippers yet, so most of the water checks, right, Waterfall, Fairy, Hobo, are not going to be in Logic, but we do have not only 1 glove, but 2 gloves, which means we do actually have access to Zora, and, you know, never mind, we just found, so the flippers are kind of out of Logic still. We do need that lamp in order to access the vanilla Vicky chest, which we haven't seen yet. Now, of course, the lamp could just be sitting in desert somewhere, right, because we did get the book, which was in Logic, and even though we don't have boots, we can still get to the front of desert, which of course the lamp could just be sitting there. But that is such a very interesting find here on Kermit's
that's
side.
such an awkward spot to be in. Like, do you really want to go desert now without boots and fire source? Potentially for a lamp? Or do you really go Zora area without having the money for Zora? Ugh.
Yeah, and you know what? That bee that they try to sell to the bottleneck is coming in even more clutch in this case, because, you know, they would have both been 100 rupees richer if they just houlihan. You know, it would have definitely put them a ton closer.
Yeah, and I mean, then you could justify like them going to the rupee stone in the south, right? So,
yeah, and of course, you know, and not necessarily if this is going to be super appealing in Eastern Palace because they don't have the lamp, but, you know, in the back of the first, Dark Room, you know, with the Igor who could get the key in, there are, you know, some more rupees here in Eastern Palace. They really wanted that extra money. But, well, it's certainly going to be interesting to see what these runners do, because Dunka, I assume, will also go to the vanilla Vicky chest and pick up his flippers as well.
I would be shocked if he didn't.
Yeah, I mean, these runners, as
knowing
you
there
can
are 2
see,
items
very,
there.
very comfortable with Dark Rooms. But, alright, so 17-minute mark, Kermit, you know, taking down Armos with his newly found bow and silvers combined. You know, no problems for Armos picking up his spider shield, and more importantly, his first crystal. Where is Kermit gonna go?
I'm pretty sure he's gonna go Hyrule Castle because he has.
We're gonna just take a quick
Never
detour.
mind.
You know,
Never mind.
Kermit is looking for maybe some exercise. You know, he's already rested up like the 15 minutes before you need it in order to, you know, dive into the water. So, you know, he feels all warmed up and ready to go.
I mean, I have no problem checking Hobo here. If he wants to save and quit and goes Hyrule Castle after that, he maybe wants to hope for some money or some progression.
Yeah, and I think also, you know, Kermit did say in the interview yesterday that he is interested in chasing, I guess, like, I know it's like the logic, but like further spheres, you know, that was one of the motivations that he wanted to do powder check early. But you know, so chasing flippers here certainly seems, you know, consistent.
Nope, he's going for it.
Okay.
And Zora is in logic, and that's why I don't particularly like this choice. Because yes, he does out of logic flipper checks, but Zora itself is actually in logic.
We're just so poor. And
There
you
could
know,
be just the map hanging in desert in the map chest, and then we are forced to go to Zora. So I don't know, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe he gets bailed.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so, you know, like, Kermit, I think, also does recognize that there hasn't been a lot of free money just laying around, you know, the game, you know, early game so far, so chances are Dunka's in a very similar position. You know, so if he wants to maybe farm money, you know, maybe he wants to just try and put that off.
Is that so? I mean, in his mind, he should have 100 more, that's 280, and Hulon gives you 225, which makes it 505. So technically, he should think his opponent has the money. And also, we could have gotten money in Eastern, right? 90 rupees. So, oh.
You know, oh my gosh, dude!
Check one price! No! No!
Dude!
Imagine using that B!
That is amazing! Oh my gosh, you know, is Donka gonna have enough money? He needs just a little bit more also in order to get over to Zora area. Oh man, was there 20 rupees that we just missed somewhere? Maybe that Kermit didn't pick up? Because that is like so close for that bailout of 300 rupees on the ledge.
Will Donka take these 20? Oh, he's taking it.
Alright, well, I don't know. So he needs 2 more rupees in order to hit up, you know, but also Dunka has to make the decision in order to go over to the Zora area without, you know, so much money, right? It was so fortunate that we found that on the ledge, but Dunka is still, you know, Dunka's not counting on, you know, finding.
I want to see the stun price.
We're trying our hardest.
You can even make an argument freezing one and see what the ice stun price is. I think it's different, right? Is it? I think it is.
I think it is different, yeah. Maybe we're gonna see something. Well, are we gonna see something here in Cairo Castle?
I kind of want Dunka to go there as well, but he's probably not gonna do it.
Well, I mean, he's probably gonna chase that book right now. Is my guess.
Yeah, he's doing the more smart move.
He's following logic right now. I mean, he's probably, you know, somewhat annoyed with himself. The fact that, why did I have to go check Agina earlier? Because now I have to make another walking trip all the way here in desert. You know, it's already kind of a slow enough check to go all the way over here the first time. You know,
I mean, to be fair, desert is not expected to have a lamp. It has to have something leading to the moon pearl, right? Because lamp, yes, opens up some stuff, but the moon pearl has to come eventually. So it's more likely that the moon pearl is in desert.
You know, but we still could get. Okay, so yeah, so nothing on the ledge so far. Although it would put Dunka over 200 or 180 mark. Yeah, I was actually thinking though, like another option for Dunka to come over here is if he is thinking about Zora, you know, especially with those flippers, maybe to trigger another reminder.
20 rupees. No. Check your inventory. No.
Oh. Alright, so unfortunately, looks like this is gonna be a little bit of time advantage. Alright, good job, Kermit! Alright, so Ramus doesn't have to do
can you please save it quick? Hello?
His screen just might be frozen. Or he's just thinking.
So
Kermit,
I think it's
you're
okay.
giving Ramus like a heart attack up
No. I think I understood what happened. So I know there's some weird behavior with the map in the inventory. If you get it out of the bag and you're in the front, it's not shown. But he didn't get it out of the bag. And there's the moon pearl, by the way. So yeah, I think he was checking his inventory and was not sure if he really didn't have the map because he saw he had no map. But again, there's sometimes it's not gonna be shown in the inventory when you got it from the bag, something like that. That has been patched. Okay, then never mind me. I'm retarded, I guess.
No. I think it's actually very good for Kermit to actually spend the 5 seconds or however long he spent, you know, basically just mentally counting down. Okay, I got 3 items in escape. Let me make sure before I leave, because, you know, certainly he in this case made the right decision, right? It's much better for him to spend the 3 seconds now than to him either going all the way down to the south, like, oh no, I just spent one extra like minute going down there, or he saves and quit and just not sure anymore. I mean, then that basically just gonna weigh on the rest of his mind, you know, for the rest of the scene, and that's just terrible.
Yeah. Also, we saw we don't need the boots on in desert, but we still have an item on Landmo, and we're likely not seeing the flute this seed.
I'm glad that you qualified your statement of not needing boots just for desert, because you know, we would still like those boots. Unfortunately for swordless, it doesn't hold the same weight the boots do, you know, as you know for any other mode basically that has a sword. But ideally, we would still like to be able to go fast, and of course, you know, with the Japanese 1.0 version, which is you know what the randomizer is kind of based on. You know, we do have some hidden abilities with those boots. You know, we can definitely activate some super speed with some items, for example. The Kermit, though, looks like he's actually going to make his one and only desert trip over here. This is going to be good news for him. He's going to pick up.
Danka has the 200 rupees.
So is he going to check the area? So if he's going to check, right? Because sometimes runners, if they don't have enough money, they just won't check the ledge at all, right? Because they're like, oh, you know what? I'll come back here with more money. It'll be more incentive, so I don't have to isolate Sora. But if he does, he's going to be very well rewarded.
I think he does. I think he does, because if you want to skip something, then it's only Zora itself. But for me, does he make the loop for these 300 rupees to then go back again to go to Zora to maybe just get 20 rupees and then having no money at all for the Dark World?
So you also do bring up a good point. For those of you who have, not only do we not have boots, we have walking out of Zora is super slow. And in this case, if we want to check the Zora prize, we have to do it twice. So it's just like it is a very, very prolonged check at that point.
But the pro side is, first of all, it's in logic. And there could be the lamp sitting there.
And a lamp actually in this case would actually be more significant because it is our first fire source as well.
Oh, he's not doing it. Interesting. I think I could have not resisted that. I think I would have gone for the 300 and said, you know what, I want to have this out of my mind.
It was pretty fast decision. I don't know if Dunkdao was like part muscle memory, just to make sure, but or maybe he just decided that it doesn't matter what it's going to be.
I felt no hesitation there. I think there was a clear no, not for that now.
All right, so but looks like though both runners starting at Sanctuary. We are headed towards the same direction because you know what? We got a Moon Pearl, we got Myths, we have our one accessible Dark World entry portal right here north of Kakariko. Looks like both runners are probably going to go similar. You know what? Based on what I know about Big Dunka, I'm going to put a very high controversial statement that he is going to go to Skullwoods.
And of course we have Pen and Thief Stone when we have Half Magic and Burner and playing Swordless.
We also don't have the hammer, so maybe the runners are going to feel more comfortable, going to the front of the Thieves Town and skipping out on the rest to at least make a further decision. And hey, we've got some divergence. Looks like Kermit though is going to explore Village of Outcasts. Dunka, not making a liar out of me, going directly into Skullwoods. Looks like it's going to go straight to the back.
Yeah, I mean, when you have silver arrows, when you have Half Magic and a Burner, you don't want to have pendants in Thieves or Mire or Hera where bosses are pretty simple to kill at least. Like Trinex is always gonna be fun no matter what. Skullwoods can be fun if you're getting, not your timings with the hammer or the fire rod. Also with Half Magic. Shouldn't be any discussion actually. But so the more interesting ones like Cold Stare, Trinex, those are the ones where you really want to have pendants in Swordless in my eyes.
Yeah, no, I mean, you certainly bring up a good point. And this is one of those things where, again, the swords really help out. For example, just like on the Cold Stare fight, right? You try and, do a sword spin to try and keep those puffs in the corner initially. It's significantly harder with that hammer, for one, but, those, again, it definitely becomes a much more dangerous fight without the sword. All right, so Dunka, having some good fortune with the Gyptos in the statue room, because both of them are getting stuck. It pulls a small key in the back of Skullwood. I'm gonna explore the front. Nothing so far.
I think he got a compass in the big key chest.
It was a small key.
Oh, was it small key?
Yeah.
And what was in the map chest?
I think was that the compass?
Okay, that was okay. Yeah, that makes sense that I saw a compass in Skywoods.
Oh, heart. Okay, heart so far. Got it.
Oh,
Nice.
heart. Okay, there's an episode. Okay.
Yep. All right. So one item looked like it's going to be in the back. Donkey,
Yeah.
of course, with no mirror, he's just going to patiently wait for his elevator ride up.
And Kermit for sure has seen enough in Thieves Zone. Does he? Oh yeah, he's walking back. Okay.
Yeah, he has, blue mail, 6 working hearts at this point. I'm not actually sure what's faster, but it looks like Kermit has made the decision to at least walk out of Thieves Town.
It would feel so weird for me.
This is one of those things where you just maybe don't necessarily think about for like what the threshold is between death warping and walking out, because death warping can be pretty slow, but also walking out is also pretty dang slow.
So, but we found 3 items in Thieves Town, so there is one lingering in the back, and we'll not know where exactly it is. But yeah, so far we did not get that much, and we do not have that much left in logic. I mean, we have a mirrorless smith chain.
We still have Zora. Hopefully it's not going to, bite them too hard. But of course, ideally, we would like to be able to, let's say, find some boots or, find some more money here in Dark World that would make, things a bit nicer. And of course, didn't mention, if we could just happen to, let's say, dig up a mirror like we did last seed, we can basically combine this with Catfish. But you know what?
Or we just take a hook shot.
Yeah, forget. Okay, again, for those of you who did not pay attention in Game 3, we said never skip dig game.
Yeah.
Kermit has followed that advice, and that is very, very important. Not only for movement, but also we do see that Swamp Palace is a crystal today. And that hook shot was definitely, eluding Kermit basically for like, most if not all of the scene.
And hookshot is one of the best items in Swordless, in my eyes.
And
like,
it gives you easy stun, right?
Yeah, and it's even a quicker stun than a slash, which is generally good. You can hook to things, you can move faster, you can deal with a lot of enemies, and that's really a good advantage to have. I mean, Daka's getting it soon as well, but in Swordless you're happy for everything that makes it easier for you.
Alright, so we did pick up a medallion. Actually, it looks like Dunka is going to take the alternative method to get out of Thieves Town. He actually has more health than Kermit, but he's decided to just take out Death Warp, yeah.
Hey, there's your lamp. So we have Flipper's X. And the hammer.
And the hammer. Alright, that is a really nice hype cave. We have both a fire source and our requisite, hammer / tempered sword, equivalent
and
in this case.
Off we go to Pod. Now the question, does Kermit check Permit Ledge this time or not? What is he gonna think this time?
Well, okay, so we can't get Big Bomb today. Actually, what's our 5 and 6? So it looks like it actually is Pod and looks like it's Pod and Skullwoods.
So we're deciding against it again. So I can see Dunka going back to it again.
Kermit already has the hookshot, so certainly there can't be another hookshot on Pyramid Ledge this time, right?
Yeah.
Not that we're like missing anything else.
What if we just flip positions with a mirror this time?
Let's not think about such things for Kermit. We're going to be pretty happy, walking over to Pod because this is going to be a fully clearable crystal. However, if it happens to be the mirror on Pyramid Ledge, and Duncan decides to check it, he is going to have a significantly faster time here in Pod. Just like we saw that Kermit was trying to walk out of Thieves Town, we really can't have the option of walking out of Pod all that much because, it's kind of far away, but that mirror warping, right? In order to try and get yourself around Pod is going to take a long time.
That would be a story if it's the same again. If it's really again Pyramid Ledge and then his Kermit is chasing that item for the end.
We're gonna hope that the mental damage sustained isn't going to be too high.
Like I can't.
Because that would be insane.
I can't even say hopefully with the same outcome because I would be worried about Dunka. Literally losing twice in the same exact way because of the same exact things. No. Not gonna happen.
No, I mean, you know, it's. I'm sure they've already put the Thief that they played, you know, under 24 hours ago, right out of their minds. Dunka, all right, so he's gonna check Hype Cave, and then you know he's gonna pick up his lamp and hammer, and then we're gonna see what he decides to do. The lamp, by the way, also, you know, it was our first fire source. I think we did mention that, but also, you know, with the lamp, we're gonna be able to see, you know, things a lot nicer. You know, no more dark rooms basically, and of course in pod, right? Dark turtles, of course, is you know still can be pretty dangerous, especially with no sword. And you know, of course, we're just basically going to be able to at least you know see everything that we can find here in like Dark Maze.
So far this seed is very, very generous. I mean, I can see them going up the mountain. I can see them going up the mountain and being go mode. Like, what do we really need after this? It's a mirror, it's a fire rod, and it's a cane, and we have so many items on Death Mountain.
So
there is a chance.
Yeah, so we do potentially need another medallion or two. You know, we don't know Turtle Rock's injury, but we do have that quick medallion, so that is at least you know 1/3 of the way there. But you know, medallion hunts certainly could be tricky. But as we did see early on, both runners ended up picking up that ice rod, so at least no ice rod.
By the way, Danka's going for it.
Yeah. All right. So what is this item?
It has to be the mirror, right? Yeah.
But
we checked already a bumper cave on Danka's side. He knows there's only 20 rupees, I think.
And Duncan already having a cane of burnout, you know, available to him, he is not even going to take the extra time to go pick it up. Interesting, actually.
Yeah, really interesting. Because in certain situations, I think you would just want to have the cape more than burner, even though with half magic it's a little bit negated.
Yeah, well, right. So I think maybe the primary difference is, you know, the cape doesn't lag as much, so it's actually much more desirable to use on Ganon as a safety. But you know, Dunka I think realizes that this is, you know, especially with Game 3 being a 7-second difference, right? Maybe that could be the difference. You can find 7 seconds probably to save anywhere.
Also, Kermit I think more or less on the fly checked the stun price with the hookshot, and it was 10 arrows. So having silver arrows and being able to back up those all the time, and also with the powder, we're getting really nice items.
Yeah, the safety for the powder especially is going to be really nice. Of course, it does.
Could even powder here. Could use the powder here.
Maybe Kermit is interested in death warping, so maybe he is not as interested in refilling his health. We did find looks like actually was our second sword here in Pod Basement. Kermit also taking a little bit more time to pick up some extra money. I don't know if he has Zora at his mind, but it was certainly a good opportunity in order to restock on some financial resources here.
Kermit, you should know that there's a key, but...
Alright, we have all of these, you know, talking points for the next team meeting. It's good that maybe we could just like, you know, timestamp some of these bots, Ravis.
He knows at that moment when he sees the key, he knows. Oh, I thought he's gonna get refilled, but he knows that I'm gonna be mad. So,
alright.
Nah, it's all good.
It sounds like it's a good team camaraderie. Alright, so picking up the big key, we are going to be able to check the big chest, and it looks like Kermit with Blue Mail apparently wants to set up the Death Warp with just a couple of good old-fashioned bombs. We're going to need 3 of them.
What a bad big key location it is.
Yeah, I agree, because, you know, even hammer jumping doesn't really, you know, help you. Nothing. So okay, we did find a powder. Anything else of value so far here in Pod?
No, I think for now it's only the powder, but the powder itself is a valuable item in Swordless. So
yeah, right. So in terms of safety, it's super nice. We do get one more open check, which is of course Magic Bat. The value, of course, of that is to be determined. Of course, last seed that these runners both played, you know, a glove was on Magic Bat, so maybe there's gonna be something similar of value here. And of course, you know, with silver arrows, as you did mention earlier, Ravis, you know, hopefully, you know, everything basically is going to go down in one shot in this case. Mimics, Helmasaur, Phase 2, and of course we do have that really nice hammer in order to break off the mask.
Yeah, so I think the next destination is going to be the mountain for both runners. I can see someone finishing Desert first. just in case there's one item. And again, it's oof, Dunker getting bumped all around. Oh, double activation. Yeah. Oh, game, that's so rude.
Yeah, I think, you know, Donka, I think, intended in this case to have the bomb explode and then fall off so he can take a shortcut back into the door.
Yeah.
But yeah, the beetles and the bumper and the bomb activation did not, you know, work in this
That was fun, though.
Oh, it's fun for us because, you know, we're here, you know, watching with popcorn or, you know, whatever it is we have in the morning or afternoon. For Donka, I'm sure it wasn't probably as fun of an experience. Alright, so yeah, so Kermit here is demonstrating, you know, just how valuable that lamp is, you know, in swordless mode, doing Dark Turtles, because this really sucks.
Oh, Danka filling up the rupees for now.
Yeah, he might have Zora on his mind, for sure.
Yeah, but I don't think it's too big of a deal right now. Like, both of them will pretty sure go up the mountain. It's gonna be interesting to see if and how much they will skip parts of Hera, potentially. I can see Kermit not going over to Hera at all, although with the book, maybe. Nice boomerang, but good save arrow in the back.
You know, it takes a lot more time. This, you know, the more inventory you have, the more time you need in order to quick swap over to those arrows. Interesting.
Yeah, oh.
We found bombos. So Ravis, bombos, mitts, hammer. Any thoughts about Ice Palace?
I mean, there are chances. I still don't think they're gonna do it. I think you wait for the cane here.
Yeah, that was going to be another consideration. You know, certainly, of course, we have access to fully clear out, you know, Ice Palace, and not only that, do we have entry with the mist, we also have now entry at the inside with bombos. But as you just mentioned, you know, with the, you know, an inclusion of Icebreaker and the basically the such amount of time it saves in Ice Palace, you know, sometimes it may not necessarily hurt in order to kind of defer that. Hopefully, you know, you wait for that cane, which we do know we're going to have to find eventually, because Turtle Rock is a crystal.
Yeah, and I mean, you want to know if you need Ether for Turtle Rock. You want to know what you actually need for Go Mode with the Turtle Rock medallion, and see what the mountain has. And I'm sure if we see a cane of Samaria on Death Mountain, then an Ice Palace play is probably one of the next 1 or 2 things that's gonna come up.
And of course, with the lamp that we picked up in Hype Cave, right? This rescuing the old man and getting up the mountain is definitely now 100% in logic. You know, we haven't found that flute yet. Meyer is a pendant, so we may not ever have to find that flute. Of course, flute is going to be really nice for travel, you know, especially with and we don't really have boots so far.
Hey. And a bug net. I mean, now we're getting very, very, very comfortable for a swordless seat.
Yeah, so it looks like at least we don't have to go kill Aghanim 1 today. You know, Aghanim 2 definitely is very much on the table, and having that bug net, right, this does make things a bit easier when you have to go make that fight, because, you know, bug net's probably nicer to use than that hammer.
Yep. So there's nothing on Spectacle Rock. Let's see what's in Spectacle Rock. 10 bombs. Nothing we need now. Gonna hop over to Paradox Cave.
Yeah, and also, you know, good on Kermit, I think, to actually just be more cognizant of being used that hook shot, right? You know, we still don't have boots right now. We can't really make any dashes, but he is hooking to basically everything he possibly can. In this case, to try and just get himself across the screen just a little bit faster.
Yeah, I mean, I'm proud of him there, because I'm one of the people who enjoys hookshot really big time.
So, I think also, yeah, I mean, I don't know, you know, this is going to be like commonplace, but it certainly can be a thing if, you know, you've gone, what now, 42 minutes without the boost. Sometimes, you know, your attention span may not always be, you know, the highest. So in order to keep focus and still try and play to the best of your ability, certainly it's a very underrated skill.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, Donka picking up his second crystal, you know, very shortly behind Kermit in this case in terms of crystal count, but you know what, we're all caught up. You know, I probably, you know, are we also gonna go up the mountain? Looks like it. Hey, yeah, alright, we found a really nice prize into Paradox Cave. We've got the mirror, certainly going to at least even, you know, immediate usage is gonna come out. We're gonna be able to do both a dark and a light death roll. Death Mountain. It's going to be really nice routing. And then also, this is going to be a little bit nicer in terms of decision making because we're going to be able to explore, both light and dark before having to go over there to Hera. Oh no, did Kermit get... Okay.
So I'm a little bit concerned. Yeah. Okay, Kermit got the mirror, so he doesn't need to go Hera now. He can still do that later. But I'm a little bit concerned for Dunker right now because this seed is very, very, very linear, all through and through. Because we got the hype cave, right? And then you go to Pot, and then you go up the mountain, and you get your mirror. You can go to Swamp. What if you find a cane there? Then you go to Ice, and suddenly you get your Fire Rod, and then you're in Go mode or what? Like this feels very, very linear. Like we still don't know where these last 2 or potentially 3, 4 items are, but for now it's like pretty much on the table on where you should go right now.
I will say, for what it's worth, Game 3 also felt very linear up to a point.
Yeah.
And then also for Game 3, even when both runners got their different go mode items, it really came down to so much execution. And you know what? As comfortable as you might be with the sword, swordless, I think, kind of throws a lot of things out of the window. Execution is probably going to be even more important here. So it is actually just a very close race. Still, I mean, we're not. And right now, it does look like Kermit does have a very slight advantage in terms of progression. But there's lots of theme left in this case to be played.
Yeah, I agree.
And, especially, unfortunately, it looks like Kermit actually ended up getting dead rocked a little bit early, so whether or not he was going to go check Turtle Rock Medallion wasn't going to be an option for him to begin with, but if we need that Ether Medallion, to talk about linear seeds, that thing can be anywhere.
Let's see, Hookshot Cave.
Yeah, this was also something that, potentially cost Kermit a little bit more time last season because he didn't have the hookshot when he was here.
But nothing this time, so what are we gonna do? Are we dipping Hera? Looks like it. Are we looking at the...
Yeah, it looks like we're gonna check out at least the medallion, so we're gonna hope that we have it already, and of course we do.
Quake, and we're not going to Hera, alright. And not going to Ether Tablet. But yeah, I can understand that. I mean, we can clear 2 dungeons, right? So, or actually
Poor
3.
Dunka. Poor Dunka. I think he was gonna try and catch that fairy in a bottle, but unfortunately the fairy got a little bit too close. So he unfortunately couldn't save the CT. I was actually kind of curious if because Kermit didn't have the boost and he save and quit, if it were just gonna be faster if he wants to do Hera, just start at the save and quit point from the old man. But you know what? It looks like Kermit's actually not quite as interested in doing at least some more or less overworld checks quite yet. No Spike Cave, no Ether Tablet, no Pendant, Tower of Hera.
Yeah.
We are gonna pick up a potion potentially, and this might be an Ice Palace dive. Or
I wouldn't.
Swamp.
I think it's gonna be starting with Swamp and potentially finishing Desert afterwards. And then we're gonna look up to Ice. But he wants to have the potions just in case, and I am totally agreeing with him there. You have to pick it up at some point, so why not do it now? Yeah, you could find the flute, which is not guaranteed at all. So might as well do it now. It's okay.
Yeah, no, and and just like actually, I was gonna say just like inverted type routing or Ambrosia, it actually really pays to know how to travel in the overworld without the flute, right? We do see that Myre's a pendant. Still could be something in like the Myre area, but honestly, we may not never see this flute, here, right? So if you know how to get around your way in Lightworld, basically, taking these like whirlpools, to travel from corner to corner of the world, it is absolutely to your advantage. You're gonna have like some really nice time saves. Yeah, but of course, with the mirror, this is probably also on the forefront of Dunka's mind as well. We're seeing Kermit right now. During the dam, we're going straight into Swamp Palace. We've got flippers. We've got the hook shot. Most importantly, we are going to be able to clear out Swamp Palace. And I guess I don't know. So what do you think, Rivas? Left side first, going back in.
Yeah, I think if Kermit finds something here on the way in, I think he's gonna go to the back first. Regardless, and if he's finding Fire Rod or Cane in the back, I think he's gonna skip left side Swamp regardless.
Okay, all right. Okay,
so,
we're gonna see.
That would be my guess. For me personally, that's a little bit too aggressive. But I mean, he's getting more wins than me, so I can't really say much about that.
Well, I guess we'll see. I mean, you did see that. You did also say that Kermit, can be a bit of a wild card, right? He's like an X factor on your team, so
Yes.
you know.
Oh god!
Duncan paying off here with the check on either tablet. He has found the boots. Oh man, so he is at least going to be able to dash a bit faster. It is not going to be as because this is swordless. It's not going to be as like huge of an advantage in others' meals, but we at least get to be able to move fast in some situations.
So the fact that Danka is doing a little bit of Tower of Hera, which in the end might have just be a complete time loss, and Kermit might never do that.
It all depends on what we find.
Yeah, he's gaining some time at that. Ooh, Danka, your Hera pot might not work because you picked up the item in midair. Never mind. I think it's only with the bomb, right?
Yeah, I think the item only matters if you're doing the bomb. And that might be a very slight team meeting there for.
I'm always scared.
I was gonna say, so Duncan actually went over to the left. I don't know if that's another team meeting, level type of discussion, but you could just go slightly to the right, not dash in the water. Kermit, interesting, finding the flute here in Swan Palace in the Compass chest. Well, okay, we're gonna hope that Meyer is, in this case, Ether, and we're just never gonna go in again. Alright, because not only is, Meyer a pendant, it's also the green pendant, and it's really slow.
I'm not sure what Kermit is gonna do after this, because my original thought was, okay, he's finishing Swamp Palace, and then he's gonna go Bombos Tablet and finish Desert. But with that flute, Desert is actually faster if you check it that way, so he might change his route and go actually Cave 45. And then activate his flute on the way. I almost want to say potentially checking the Smith Gem, but that sounds ridiculous.
We have a lot of options right now open to us, and I think this is some of the difficult aspects of Randomizer is when you are faced with all of these decisions, right? How do you know which one is the right one? How do you know how much it is to skip? How comfortable are you making some of these skips? You mentioned a lot of places that are open to us, Ravis, but if we end up checking everything, chances are it might be too much. You might be checking too much and taking too much of a time loss, right?
I mean, Danka essentially just isolated his Spy Cave, while Kermit can do everything on the west Death Mountain side with Hera and Spy Cave together.
So Duncan...
Yeah, he did Paradox Cave at the start and then dropped down with the mirror.
So Dunka, I think, does have one item left in Hera Basement. So it's not like super isolated for Spike Cave, but yes, it is not exactly a real great motivation to go back up there for 2 very long shots.
I don't know how Dunka plays exactly, but I can see him saying at some point, I'd rather do Hera Basement than Spike Cave. Sorry, Spy Cave than Hera Basement.
It's certainly, yeah. But these are kind of decisions that you just hope that you don't want to make. I also don't know.
Sure.
Yeah, I also don't know what Dunka wants to do. But you know what? He got his main prize out of the Tower of Hera area, which was of course the boots off of Ether Tablet. Coming into Swamp, Kermit, doing his absolute best for this really tedious menu boss because. What else can we do? So of course Kermit does, by the way, have the option of, with the advent of Quick Swap, we can actually Quick Swap over to Silver Arrows and kill the puffs, after we pull them off because they actually do damage. Of course, the main risk is that just don't accidentally Quick Swap over to the mirror because that has some really unfortunate consequences.
Yeah. I'd rather recommend the menu strat there that Kermit did. But that's just me.
Whatever does not have to let you repeat this boss.
How many dungeon items did we find?
I think we found. I want to say we found all, but there should be one item left. I think in the left side.
So the waterfall chest or the south chest had a no. Wait, the south.
It was the waterfall chest had a map.
Oh, okay. So what are we doing? We are going to Bombos Tablet. All right. I wonder if he's gonna save and quit after that. or if he's going back for K45. I don't know. I don't know what to do.
Well, he does have the flute, so chances are maybe this is going to be pretty convenient check for him as bombos, and then he'll go save and quit to the flute, and then he can, let's say, go over to the desert, or or wherever else he wants to go.
Yeah, and that is what he is doing. I was wondering if he's taking the portal back to K45 and go up there.
With the boots, it seems a bit more appealing, but man, it's another walking fest. I don't know when Kermit, by the way, is going to go up there and find those boots. Again, it's not as important here in Swordless because we don't have the sword in order to.
I guarantee you, he's gonna do ice at least before that. I think he's gonna do the ice before going to Panadera.
So it definitely sounds like a walkathon for Kermit, at least for the foreseeable future, if that's the case. All right, let's see what
Danka said it yesterday, right? Boots are a double-edged sword and swordless.
We have no swords here in Swordless.
Yeah. So this is our double-edged sword, yeah.
It's a double-edged hammer, is what it is.
Yeah, a little bit fun with the language. No, but this is with 12 hearts and blue mail, I think it's definitely a time saver. Regardless, you will not come to so many. Or like into so many situations where you actually could die, and then they have like 3 bottles, powder, they can catch fairies, they have so many defensive things as well, so they should be good to go there. So boots might be a time loss for Kermit, definitely. Might not be as big as we are used to, but we'll see.
Yeah, but I mean, also you have to kind of make your way over there. Climbing that mountain is, climbing the mountain or walking all the way from east to west is just pretty. It's slow regardless. And Kermit actually giving us a nice reminder that we did pick up the powder, in pod, and he's in the area after activating that flute. Unfortunately, it just only was 10 arrows today. It was our stun prize as well, so we don't really care anymore about this.
Do you think Danka's going back for 1 item? I don't think so, to be honest.
Oh. How many items were left yesterday in Left Side Swamp? Maybe it was a different situation, because he did go back yesterday, but with
he had 2 yesterday.
Left... Okay,
he had 2 yesterday, but with a biggie.
Yeah, okay. So I think, with only 1, he has a lot more stuff open to him. For example, right now, Kermit is going into Ice Palace, there's another clearable crystal dungeon, chances are Duncan's going to be as well.
Oh yeah, do you see these little bombo signs in Ice Palace?
I try to avoid them because sometimes, Kermit looks like he needs to actually activate it twice because it wasn't quite on the right console. But yes, unfortunately, we do see that, and actually just another feature in this case of Swordless. We do typically need a sword in order to activate the medallions, but how can we get in here without the fire rod? And we need bombos. We've got a nice little icon. We can actually just use it in that exact spot. Alright, Duncan taking down Argus, very similar strategy to Kermit, trying to do these, commonly previously seen, swordless, menu strats, with the hammer and the hook shot, and then taking out Argus phase 2. Claiming his next crystal are going to be the moment of truth, if we're going to see if Duncan's going to go back in for this 1 item. Looks like the answer is no. So, as you mentioned earlier about potentially a linear seed here, both runners basically following the exact same path after, actually still at the 56-minute mark, pretty much. Duncan probably is going to just, check Bobbo's tablet, save and quit, activate his flute, and then, potentially, go back over, to Ice Palace.
Yeah, also we will get some 2 interesting checks with Bogrox and King's Tomb now. That are on the way for Danka, while Kermit, even if he finds the boots, save and quitting with mirror and flute is very, very difficult. So it sounds weird saying it like that, but it actually is. Like you don't want to save and quit anymore.
Yeah, no, that's certainly true, because the flute basically, gives you so many nice access points, right, across the light world. So you basically don't ever really need to start from, Sanctuary. All right, so
you would have got tempered.
Yeah, Duncan would have found tempered, so and, you know, another lament in this case. I could have had that. So. But at least nothing right now is hurting a Kermit. In this case, we're not having to pick up the boots, logically speaking. So we got one more check here on Bonk Rocks. And actually, you see on Kermit's side, it's just another of those consequences where you're just really used to having that sword. He's trying to do Ice Palace bomb jump, and sometimes it's just really difficult to be able to kind of get into position, you know, without having a sword to kind of help you.
So the boot's not immediately required, at least not to get into GT. No items there found. Kermit found the big key. That's not what you want to find there.
I guess we do have the 1 in 22 chance of big key
What
on
are you
Torch.
doing?
Alright, looks like Kermit's trying to think about how he wants to route Ice Palace.
Yeah. Okay. I see. Okay. So I was wondering why he's not doing the bomb jump about across the gap. But he doesn't want to risk falling down, and he knows he's gonna come back to that big chest regardless. Even though it's I don't know how about to feel it, but he doesn't want to drop down and then have to climb back up to go up the whole ice palace the vanilla way, basically.
Yeah, this does also seem consistent, you know, with his Tower of Para, you know, from yesterday, right? Is that he, instead of trying to bomb jump over and risking basically falling 2 floors, you know, he just basically went up and just took like the more, you know, conservative, but definitely 100% safer route.
We saw that Meyer is Etherlock, and I also like what Danka
all right,
did.
that is really good news so far. You know, we have the flute in order to get us over.
Hey, and that is why I like what Danka was doing. Yeah.
Oh, so that fine. Okay, so not only of course is it going to be required, and we are going to be able to, you know, get entry into Turtle Rock, but you know, Duncan is going to have that Canis Mori for Ice Palace, and we're going to see just how different in terms of time the 2 different approaches, you know, clearing out Ice Palace with and without the cane is going to be. But Duncan, though, in the area, you know, we're here in the back of desert. It is going to be one more item in addition to another crystal that we have on hand.
And there's your fire rod.
Oh, great.
So
that is a meme, right? Fire begets fire.
I mean, Bombo's locking fire rod or the other way around. Name a better love story in Rando.
Yeah. Is that actually all we need here?
That is actually all we need, except we don't know if it's all Kermit needs, because he still has no boots. So
that's true. So we have the 1 in 22 chance for that big key to be on the Torch and GT, but at this point, you know, barring that one chance, we do have everything we need, at least, you know, for both runners. So Dunka, once he goes into Ice Palace, he is going to be able to get his fire rod very shortly. So we just need Kermit after this is to kind of beeline over to the Meyer area, which I think is, you know, it's not unreasonable, right? He's got the flute and he's got the mitts in order to find basically his last item, and then he's going to be able to pick up his cane. And then it's gonna be another race over.
But this is a good time to find the fire rod, because like now you have Cold Stone in front of you. You have half magic. If he gets the first hammer, unfortunately not. But yeah, has a green goo as well, so.
And he's got half magic here, right? Yeah, we can basically just spam out this fire rod. As you said, very fortunate to find here in Ice Palace. But of course, it would have been certainly really nice if, in this case, we land a hammer hit in order to maybe, you know, even bunch the Colster Puffs in a corner. You know, certainly makes.
Oh, there you go, 300.
Hey, we can go back to. No, Kermit still can't go back to Zora.
Yeah, we can, but Danka can already. So Danka's gonna get his fire rod here. I assume Kermit is gonna go check my area next. I hope at least, and then we have a very, very close race because it's an Ice Palace versus a desert finish.
Yeah,
but with no boots.
Alright, so yeah, so the biggest maybe consequence is going to be, I would say what, like, I'm just looking here, maybe some overworld stuff. We're gonna have to see, because, you know, Dunka has really been trailing Kermit, you know, for, you know, maybe like a few minutes, just, you know, for this entire race basically so far, just with a couple of extra checks, right? But, you know, he's probably gonna make up a good amount of time difference here with basically doing Icebreaker here in Ice Palace versus, you know, Kermit. And checking Meyer, so he's going to be in go mode here very, very shortly. And as you said, Ravis, this is now going to be a race between who can finish their go mode dungeons the fastest. You know what? The last race between these two also came down to a battle of execution. You know, ended up with a 7-second difference. We might actually just see something like that very similar today.
So Kermit is now in go mode, at least in Bootsless go mode. I think he's gonna be a little bit earlier out of desert than Dunker is out of ice, just because the boss fight and stuff is a little bit faster, and he's already in the back. Dunker has to do a little bit more of room clearing, but again has those boots, and either they are game winning immediately, or they will at least make up some time here and there. So this is by no means just Kermit's race, even though I think he's gonna have a minute or two of an advantage when he comes out here.
For what it's worth, if the boots, if the big key is on the torch, you know, and Kermit, like, well, it won't be it could potentially be a GT basement difference, but you know, if he decides to try and end up leaving, you know, GT to try and find them, you know, Tower Hera and the Ether, you know, tablet is like right there, right? So he doesn't have to at least go very far if he needs the boots.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's the first check you do when you check everything in GT. But on the other hand, his advantage is not big enough that he can actually full clear GT before Dunker arrives.
Yeah.
Because Dunker will check, even if Dunker goes right and finds a key and goes to the right, he still will find the big key relatively early. So Kermit would have to go some ways. And with his routing, he's mirroring twice. So actually going got a lot of walking to do.
Yeah, and we actually see, you know, Dunka basically just blazed through this ice palace, right? Did through Icebreaker, got himself, you know, to the fire rod in the spike chest, you know, very, very quickly, and, you know, we did actually see in this case that, you know, he didn't have to go basically all the way around. He's going straight in down to Cold Stare.
So Kermit flew it away at 1:03:57. He left the screen with the duck. So let's see when Dunker's gonna finish here and flew it away.
Execution 100% is going to play a gigantic part in this race. You know, we don't have swords. Any amount of what you're comfortable with, you know, fighting Mothula with Temper Sword by now, out the window. We are strictly doing hammer Moth in this case.
So Dunker is in an interesting spot. He might know that Kermit, or might guess that Kermit doesn't have his boots, but also Kermit doesn't have the time loss from Hera. So it's about Dunker making up the time with his boots. It's hard in Swordless. You didn't get the keys, Kermit. Thank God.
That would not have been too bad of a time loss. But also, you know, one difference here for Kermit is that he also did not do the front of Skullwoods, which Dunker, that was, you know, his very first destination into Dark World, right? So he was basically Kermit here is going to go straight to the back.
Okay, we have to see when Dunker flies away here, because he's making an extra lap, picking up some potions, which Kermit already did. So let's see when he puts up the flute and flies away. 1:05:28. All right. So about 1 minute, 1.5 minutes all around.
Yep. As evidence, of course, here, you know, we don't need that sword to cut the vines. It's already been pre-cut for us. You know, basically a red carpet rolling out to Mothula here. Alright, so, you know, okay, we've got, you know, a ton of fire rod shots available to us. We do have the hammer. We've got a lot of health. Hopefully Kermit's going to be okay. It all kind of depends on how Moth decides to behave. He has some... Moth is actually down. Kermit's actually going to get some... One
more hit. He could switch to the fight in 2 hits. Just switch to the fire rod? Alright.
Alright, Dunka though, super close. You know, he is one backup skull.
Nice.
Ready for. Good thing that we found our fire rod in Cadence Mario before we found the Ether Medallion. Man, you do not want to go into Mire at this point. You know, diving and trying to search for that fire rod. That would be awful.
So let's see again when Kermit flutes away. So we get a new update when Dunker's finishing. Kermit's 7 quitting. Okay. So we have a different method of timing, I guess. So let's see. Kermit is in front of this cave at 1:06:49. Let's see when Dunker's gonna be there. Okay, people in chat had the Ether pickup. That's also okay. But with that save and quit, we have a little bit of time difference potentially if Dunker's gonna mirror. I don't know if he's gonna save and quit or not.
Duncan is certainly taking a bit more safety in terms of trying to get down to Moth. You just see him wait for that wall master to make sure he does not get 1.0 and grabbed. Duncan has not had the best history with the back of skull flips, especially with some of his SGL races. I certainly do not blame him for being a bit more conservative here. Looks like he is trying to try and just basically do the fire rod approach with the half magic. Moth does not have to behave, but you know what? We have enough ammunition. Moth goes down pretty quickly.
So 107.34, that is a 1 minute 20 seconds difference. So around 10 to 15 seconds, something like that, made up. Not made up, but caught up.
Yeah, and I think, right, so all of the stuff now that Kermit's doing, Duncan also has not, so it's going to be very similar. I don't think either runner had opened up Turtle Rock initially, just because they weren't really here.
No, so Duncan also 7 quitting, so no time difference there. I thought he might flute away, but yeah, 7 quitting makes sense. So let's see. Boot's gonna be good here on Death Mountain. Gonna hook speed here. Gonna dash here and there.
Oh man, taking dead rocks, man.
Yeah, but Kermit got also a bit dead rocked and had no boots. So Duncan will make make up some very valuable seconds here.
Yeah, I mean that was one of the things that boost will give you an advantage for, right? You could do hook speed. We saw Duncan doing that and activating the spin speed, which of course, for Kermit, this does definitely look like a walkathon. And I do not want to undervalue the value of boost basically in Gauntlet. I mean, it can certainly really help you basically with some maneuvering. So now we are in Turtle Rock go mode. I guess I'm kind of curious to see if either runner is interested in skipping out on the front. Kermit unfortunately missed that last torch, but of course this one's much more easily recoverable once you have the hook shot.
Yeah, but you in his shoes right now, he can't afford to lose these times because he's gonna lose time every minute anyway with those boots.
I'm not sure if he realizes, right? Because okay, this might be one of those like ignorance is bliss type of things, right? He hasn't found the boots. Maybe he thinks that Duncan, also hasn't found the boots, right?
No, but no. Not that. But from his perspective, this was a very linear seed, and he did route it well. But he has to assume his opponent pretty much routed the same way, right? So either way, we know it's not the same thing, and we know he has a disadvantage not having the boots, which he doesn't know. But the situation in the race should, from his perspective, been very, very similar to the situation that actually is, even though it's different. So you have to assume it's a very close race. I can't afford to lose any big time. See Duncan here just burner dashing through the room while Kermit had to take damage and walk back and stuff.
He is holding every directional D-pad as hard as he can. That is certainly for sure. And you do bring up a pretty good point. There are going to be these little things, especially even minor mistakes, especially at this stage of the game, certainly can be quite heavy on your mind. And the best that Kermit is going to be able to do at this point, certainly I think he's hoping to find boosts here along the way, but he just needs to do his best to focus and just
run.
He can't run, Ramus! He doesn't have boots! Good use of the fire. I mean, that half magic is so nice in Swordless. Especially with that fire rod, you can just basically burn everything that needs burned. Gonna have a lot in the Gauntlet for sure, too.
Turtle Rock, one of the more dungeons where you actually use a lot of items regardless, like the fire rod if you don't have a tempered sword, or Cane of Samaria. So actually not too much different from with swords. Like if you have a fighter sword here, where you're really gonna use it. So from that point of view, it's not too much of a difference. Even the boss fight in the end, if you have a fighter sword, you always do hammer strats, obviously. So yeah, I mean.
So we did see Kermit skip the outside, right? I didn't just make that. Oh no,
yeah, he did.
All right, so you know what? He's doing a very minor scenic detour just to check out the other fire snake a little bit close up front. But Kermit's back on track. Looks like he is, in this case, going to pick up a little slight health, magic refill. He is going to have to go to Laser Bridge. No, actually, no. We have enough keys.
Yeah,
Duncan also out the outside as well, so this is going to be even.
Yeah, I think both would have to go back to big chest if it's not here. I can't easily.
Oh, did we not find the big key yet? Oh, is that
Yeah.
what we're searching for? Got it.
No. We're just looking for. Wait.
What are we looking for?
I don't know. I actually don't know. But he still went for it and got the mirror shield.
Yeah. So okay. So I guess he's like super safe for the rest of Laser Bridge if he wanted, or I guess whatever is in GT.
Sure.
Yeah, I guess I was slightly confused because I didn't know what else Kermit was looking for, but maybe it was just that mirror shield, or maybe he remembered earlier.
It's even costing lag now. Oh no, more time lost.
Alright, so of course, with no boots, we are going to just sit here and wait for the head to... Oh no, I think that shot was too early. Kermit did make a nice recovery using some menu buffers to at least help himself out a bit. No. Oh,
come on, Kermit.
Oh, this. Alright, so this is gonna be more time.
Danka's also checking lasers.
What are they looking for?
For swords? I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe, you know what? We can ask them what they were searching for. Because you know they have silvers, right? And they have well, they have the hammer, and they have the bug net. It was, and you know what? That time actually has an advantage for Kermit because you know Duncan checked 2 chests and Kermit.
Yeah, but Kermit is taking a serious amount of time on Trinex right now. Like this is taking a very, very long time.
We have seen, especially endgame from both runners, game 3 was execution in nerves do not mix well. Duncan at least looks like he has a good start so far, but you know, Agatu, Ganon. I mean, you know, these boss fights can really just tear you apart. You know, Duncan, you know, Hammer only Trinex really isn't that pleasant either, right? Duncan's kind of having his own similar, you know, party here with Trinex. No ice on the floor at least does make, you know, life a little bit nicer for Duncan, but you know, it's not like Duncan, you know, in this case, you know, both runners are just coasted through this fight.
But his first phase was definitely quite a lot faster than Kermit's. So
yeah, so definitely you are correct in that Duncan has definitely made up a good chunk of time here over Kermit. So the gap has definitely closed considerably, but you know, Kermit still does have advantage. We have all of GT to search for that big key. We're still looking for what's on the torch. We have the entire gauntlet to go through without swords, and we have Agatu and we have Ganon. I mean, these fights are not easy. Execution is really going to make you know, the difference here. We do see a ton of numbers here in chat.
Just go! Oh my god!
Keep calm! Ramus, keep calm! Kermit's the one playing! Oh man. Alright, this is gonna be the moment of truth. Are we gonna see the big key on the torch? If it is, Duncan is going to have a significant advantage. If not, we are in GT routing mode. We did see yesterday that the big key and small key was in Hope Room. Kermit did an extra Stalfos room visit before finding and going up, and that is certainly closed up the gap a ton. Kermit!
He's going right first. What is happening here?
He has
what is happening
yesterday that he knows that Hope Room is the better GT route. Here we go. Big key just like yesterday. And small key. Oh my god.
Please go left. Please go left.
Oh man, Kermit has totally learned. Dunka, consistent as always. We are gonna see no time lost here in GT for the basement in order to search for the key. We are basically in the exact same situations as we were yesterday, right? You know, this is about the time also when Dunka and Kermit were just climbing GT. The only difference is that they had swords to work with, and this time they don't. Execution's gonna matter a lot.
I mean, yeah, that is like, the boots aren't gonna matter too much anymore. There are a couple of screens where the boots are very good to have, like the upcoming after the mimics here. But yeah, but I am right now actually think that Dunka might take this because Dunka has 2 blue goes. Kermit has only a green go, and also Dunka is just a bit better today. I feel like not saying Kermit is bad, but Dunka feels very, very proficient in his movement.
I think that both runners, you know, especially for Soulless Execution, has actually performed quite well. And, you know, maybe the one exception, at least recently, was Kermit's Trinex fight, but that fight is also not easy. But
yeah.
These. Oh,
yeah, I don't
know. Kermit! Oh jeez,
What are you?
it worries me so much whenever I see the mirror on rudder screens, especially at this stage. Alright,
And
so Dunka
that's
actually
why.
taking early lead here
Yeah,
in the
he's using the
gauntlet.
fire. He's doing the easy method. That's why I was wondering why Kermit was using the bow with half magic.
Maybe it also could just be muscle memory because typically you do switch over to the wooden arrows just to reduce some lag, but you do have the sword in order to take care of those things for you. But man, well with that fire rod, Dunka is just only one gauntlet screen ahead. Kermit is very very closely behind. Alright, silver arrows hopefully not going to be too bad here for Dunka. Right,
Gets the one cycle.
This is a good fight. Kermit hopefully can also see very something. Oh no, something about the timing was.
Yeah, I mean when you powder in the first room, then the Landmo appear more at the similar time. At least the first room.
Oh no, this is not going to be good for Kermit here. Because Dunka saved quite a bit of time here. Then with
has to be careful here. That's a tricky room with the boots, but without a sword. Yeah, but all good.
Yeah, Dunka's definitely coming up to rooms. Is he gonna make it? Oh no! So this is round 2 that Dunka unfortunately did not make the one cycle, for Wizrose. But yeah, as you did mention here, we're coming up to some of the rooms where you really, I would say, take that sword for granted because you could just basically dash through those cards, and you can't do that swordless. Alright, Dunka. Alright, unfortunately, Kermit also looks like he's missing the 2 cycle, or the 1 cycle. But Dunka's gotten through torches, picking up his magic. Don't have to worry about jingle glitches or anything. We're just gonna zoom up as fast as we can to light torches too. Then I don't think Dunka's gonna check any more chests.
No, just needs the key here, and then finish.
Alright, last powder and health refill before Ganon. We've got pretty much everything that we need. We've got 14 hearts, we've got blue mail, we've got silvers, and we got that hammer.
What are you looking for, dude?
Well, we'll have to ask him.
What are you looking for?
We don't know, but we'll have to ask him what he and Dunka were looking for on Laser Bridge. Alright. Moldering 2 down for Dunka. He is ready to face Agatu, and again, this is where swords come into play. We're really basically happy.
Okay, I think he's mentally a little bit exhausted right now. Like, nothing's working right now for him. I think he's just a bit exhausted.
He has played this entire season without boots. I can very much understand the sentiment. Yeah.
And Moldon is quite.
I'm not cooperating. Alright, Dunka's on Agatu. You do see him, landing a double here in the very first cycle with that bug net. We're pretty happy if we can get 1 per cycle, so getting a double is even better than expected. I think that's 4 for Dunka. 5. Nice. Alright, 6. So that was his 4 cycle Aga with the bug net. We take those. We definitely take those. Alright, and of course, another one of those times where, alright, so unfortunately the ice physics here, we see the bootless climb is pretty unfortunate, but Kermit has made his way through Agatu, Moldon 2, he's ready to also face Agatu, presumably he's also going to take out the bug net here after hooking over. Alright, okay, so Dunka falling into Ganon, ready with that hammer. He still needs to get through, these couple of next phases. The hammer hitbox is pretty awful. So.
Yeah, at this point, Kermit would need a fall for Dunka to win the race because it's too big of a time difference. Dunka already on phase 2.
Yeah, and if we gotta see, just how difficult this fight can be. Oh, Dunka though.
Yeah, it has the red and the blue boost. So
yeah, that was actually a very good use of basically the menu pause buffer and some iframes in combination. Dunka.
Getting a little bit.
Yeah, you can see how terrible the hitbox is for this hammer, right? Dunka has blue mail and everything, does the 3 hearts.
Should be fine though. No, yeah, it's phase 3, so should be fine.
made his way out of the Agatu. He is also ready to drop down for this fight. Dunka is on. He's almost on the home stretch. He just needs to get through a couple more hammer hits, and then we of course do have silver arrows because hammer silverless hits are really pretty terrible to land.
But he got one in.
All right, 12. Is that a double?
No.
Not quite. All right, 3 more silver arrows to go. Dunka, take your time in this case. That is two more to go.
So Kermit, meanwhile, in phase 2, has a heart, a half left. Has no potions, only green. Oh, has a blue, never mind. But Dunka finishes Ganon. Get your GGs out.
Wow, what a race. I cannot believe it actually came down to all of this, just with swordless execution. Get your GGs out in chat for Big Dunka clutching out a Game 4 victory and advancing Team Error 216 to the next stage of the league playoffs. What a sigh of relief for Error 216. Congratulations. Unfortunately, it looks like we're not going to be able to get the Game 5.
Ooh, and Kermit taking a death.
Alright, I think... presumably that is, looks like that is going to be a forfeit from
I guess
Kermit.
so, yeah.
Yeah, very understandable. Really well played throughout for both runners. Looks like that we are joined here by today's victor, Dunka. GG's.
Oh, GG's. This is the second straight day that I felt really good going into it, only to realize that we were neck and neck.
Yes, and in fact, actually, I think after you guys hit go mode, you were, I want to say like 2 minutes or something, or 1 or 2 minutes basically.
Yeah, 1.5 minutes basically was
behind
the Ice Palace.
Jesus.
Yeah, it was, I think the main differences was, you dipped Hera, I think, alright? And then you did the front of Skull Woods and other, and maybe some like minor things here and there, but...
Yeah, like an early Agena check without the book and stuff.
Yeah. I my normal open route is pretty well set in stone. Not that anybody needs to study that, but yeah, I usually follow the same open route.
So I guess we were curious. Oh, and we are also joined here by Kermit. Absolutely good GGs, Kermit. If you haven't already, get your GGs in chat for Kermit as well. Ran one heck of a race.
Yo,
GGs, dude.
GGs.
So I think Raven and I are both very curious. So when you guys were on Laser Bridge, you both dipped into the first and second chest respectively, and then Kermit, you're also searching for stuff in GT. Any care to comment on this?
Wait. Did you do the same thing I did and didn't realize you had a small?
Yeah.
Oh, that's what happened. Got it.
I got two chests in and realized, wait, I have a small.
Yeah, I realized it after the first chest. Oh.
That's lovely.
Were you also searching for something up in Upper GT as well, Kermit?
I don't know. I was so out of it for most of the race. At that point, I was searching for the boots, maybe, but yeah.
Oh, I see. I got it.
For no reason, honestly. Like I made a few things that made no sense at all. Like I couldn't find my way out of Lost Woods at the beginning. The bottle vendor when I tried to release the bee and it wouldn't go to the.
Oh, both of you. Both did the same thing.
Oh my God.
We already heard. So
I
have to take the word here, Kermit. I'm sorry, but so I got confirmation by Ari, who said a double team meeting in the chat. So when you release that bee, just go a little bit to the left so the flute activation spot is out of the screen. I think that's what it is. Then the bee flies back to the bottle vendor and you get 100 rupees.
Yeah, I actually, if you look at mine, I nudged left, but I think I came back. Because I let the bee out a little bit early.
I just recommend like going above the pots next to him.
Yeah, I'll remember that.
I would also recommend.
Both did the same thing. We thought, oh, Kermit did something with his bee. Well, Dunka's gonna show him how to do it. Oh wait, both did the same thing.
That's
if if you go back to the VOD and just search for like team meeting, you know, and whenever people type that in chat, just those are kind of the moments where potentially we could rewatch and learn some new lessons here.
So a question for Danka, and that also goes somehow to Kermit, but when you went to Zora and had 200 rupees and saw the 300 on the ledge, was that an option? Because you kind of seemed with no hesitation at all. Because Kermit had 20 rupees to less.
I had 180 some.
You picked up 20 on Hobo, didn't you remember? You were with 205.
I thought you had 205.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought I was in the 180s. I wasn't going to do it.
Kermit was there with 180. Did you guys
oh, that's hilarious, man.
or something? What is happening?
Yeah, Kermit definitely went over there with 180, or maybe like 178 or something super close, right? Saw the 300s, like, oh no, that's not quite enough. And then we were like, oh no, Duncan's gonna go over there with 200. Let's see if he does the same thing. No, and you just noped out so quickly. And we're like, okay, well maybe that was intentional, you know? But wow.
Are you serious? I could have sworn I had 180 some.
You had a 180 before Hobo, but Hobo itself gave you 20 more.
All right, I take your word for it.
Yeah, because we were doing maths at the time. Because we were thinking,
oh man,
both have to think about that one B, and they got another golden B in the bottle and stuff. Because at some point you had like Desert open, and I think Zora logically, right? And both of you couldn't do Zora at the time.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Didn't do Zora.
I guess.
Yeah, I had 203. I just looked. Money, what the hell? You know, it's early for me. It's early for me still, so...
Fair point. I mean, to be fair, the seed... Did it feel as linear as it felt for us? Because, like, you both did the Thieves Town entrance, you did the same thing until Hype Cave. There was no way you're not going to go to Pod. Basically, no way you go up to the mountain. And then go to Swamp. And, yeah, activate the flute and stuff. Like, felt very linear. Did it feel for you as well?
Yeah, it felt pretty linear as long as you dodge the overworld checks. Like the Smithy route was sitting there for a while, and after I skipped those and like Zora and Catfish, it's like there's no way I'm going to go back and do any of those. So as long as you're a dungeon diver, this was pretty linear.
Was also very interesting to see that Kermit again ditched the pyramid ledge and went apart, and you stayed consistent and checked it as well. So you both were consistent, basically.
And I guess you didn't want the cape at that point, Dunka? You had Burna?
No, I had Burna. I wasn't going to get cape. I already checked Bumper, so I knew it was dead. Cape is Kane is just better in swordless because you can actually do something with it.
So yeah, those are actually like the three main differences. Like Danka, you did Agina early, you did the pyramid ledge, and you did the Hera part before. Kermit didn't do it, so he never found boots on Ether Tablet. And the rest was almost the same, besides the fact that you actually went to Desert first and got your cane before Ice, while Kermit went straight into Ice and got his cane afterwards.
Yeah, the Ice Palace difference was pretty significant.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't want to do Ice without Cane and Fire Rod. If I had one or the other, I probably would have just done it. But yeah, I was going to avoid it until I at least had one or the other.
Yeah, specifically you had only one item left on Desert Boss, right? So could have been a Cane or could have been the Fire Rod. So makes total sense.
Yeah, and plus there's Blaine Shed there and the checkerboard, so you get a few extra shots.
Yeah. But yeah, that was a close one as well.
I guess I have one more final question for you, Kermit. So we saw that yesterday you went to Stalfo's room first in GT. Today you went over Hope room first. Any particular reason for this?
Yeah, I really don't like the right side without boots. So I wanted to go Hope room and then fall left.
Oh, you know what? You lucked out.
Yeah.
It's also Duncan's choice, and you know what? We found Vicky and Smoky there, so.
See, I did mention it to him yesterday that I generally go Hope room first, and then when I tuned into the restream and saw him go straight to Hope room, I'm like, you son of a...
Yeah, that might have been also a small part. Like, I was hoping that you wouldn't find the boots. In my mind, I felt really good because I skipped a lot, I think, and Yeah, I didn't realize that you could had Samaria before Ice Palace, so that's a bummer.
I think a
That
big
would have
part is
actually
here.
saved the time.
Also,
Yeah, the
I think
boost.
your Trinex fight, right, was a little wonky in the first phase.
I was
So
out of it today, so I'm just glad I didn't die really early. And the Ganon death, I mean, yeah, I saw Danka finish, so I
yeah,
was completely done then.
there's no shame in there.
Yeah,
So
no, it's
whatever.
fully understandable. I don't know if Dragon is around because unfortunately, this actually does mean that your runoff, in playoffs is unfortunately come to an end for Team Hime. So it actually would be cool if we can get all 3 team members. But we do have 2 of them here. So if you have any final thoughts, for basically this season, I think you guys did this was a very very amazingly impressive run from you guys. In fact, I think I remember season 2, was it like you barely made it, or was it season 3 that you were super close to relegation? 3? Okay, yeah. And then here you guys made it all the way to the playoffs. I mean, so it was, and with the same team set too. So it's certainly very impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we did better, I'd say, but it's hard for me. Like honestly, I mean, I've won the solo races here, but. Well, except this one, but yeah, I can't play any of the other modes the other 2 played, so it will always be kind of harsh on them because I have to play the easy modes if we want to have a small chance. And yeah, we're like in that weird corner where I really can only play like standard and open and maybe stuff like Randomizer a little bit. I'm also bad at these co-op races, so yeah, it'll be tough.
All good. We don't need to play retrans, so I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Game 5 might be a game that nobody was particularly looking forward to on both your teams. So
Yeah, bring back
so good job,
Ambrosia,
Donka.
please.
Yeah, I'm sure that Thelaine and Ari are very relieved.
Same for us somehow. But no, yeah, GG's. It was a good show again. Like it's cool to have
100%,
back-to-back races
100%.
this close, actually.
Yeah, those 2 races were ridiculous. So those would be good ones to go back and rewatch.
Yeah,
For
this
sure.
entire series was just up and down for emotions. Just quite it's just like excitement didn't stop basically. But it's just certainly I think you guys made Team Hime, Ravis and Kermit, you guys made such huge strides. Really looking forward to seeing you guys back next season, hopefully. And of course, for you guys to keep playing Rando. Obviously, you guys are very good at this, and very entertaining as well. You'll be able to watch.
Yay. Good luck in the next round.
Yeah, thank you. We'll need it.
I mean, we assume that you guys go into finals, so.
That's right. Yeah, because if nothing else, right? Team Hime can say that they lost to the eventual winners of the league. Yeah.
I mean, from my point of view, your team is one of the top favorites to win this whole thing, but no additional pressure. So I never say that.
I don't even know what the next. I don't even know who the next opponent is or could be. I have not even looked. So.
It's Team Go or the Spoilers. So
that's right. We stay in division.
That
that's right. Yeah, we stay in division.
Good luck with that one.
Yeah. Jeez.
But that is a problem for future Team Air 216. You can take a break because I think you guys had time in order to play both Game 4 and 5 this week. So basically, you can just take a couple days off and then go right back into it next week, right?
Yep.
Well, this was super exciting. Congratulations again, Dunka, Ari, and Elaine. If you're out there listening, you guys get to advance on to the next stage of playoffs. It was an absolute pleasure to be able to watch and Team Hime, basically battle, this entire series. Again, if you haven't seen the VODs yet, it was
a good league.
Mm-hmm.
It was a good league for us.
Yeah, it was really great. And of course, maybe hopefully, we're going to be able to hear some more commentary from runners as well. But certainly, best of luck to you moving forward, Dunka, Ari, and Elaine. Any other thoughts? I think before we kind of wrap things up.
Now, from my side, thanks as always, everybody, and yeah, we'll do it again next week.
Hopefully a little bit later in the day, maybe not like 8 a.m.
Well, you know, time zones and everything, so weekends are fine. I don't sleep anyway. Cats wake me up, so.
Yeah, GG's and.
Well, yeah, GG. Those two great games.
Yeah, was fun.
All right, yeah, I think, all right, so looking on the schedule, I believe actually there is a game going on right now on SpeedGaming 2. Potentially we'll, you know, send people over there after this. I think that was, and then unfortunately, but there are actually a couple more random matches, I think, on the schedule. Unfortunately, the schedule page didn't quite load yet, but just basically go turn it to SpeedGaming 2, basically, for a bunch more rando. We are going to wrap up, I guess, like this week's what is it? Round 1 playoffs. So should be actually some really exciting games 4 and 5 once they're on the schedule. I think, do we have anything else maybe left?
I was trying to look at the schedule, but I'm not connecting to it right now. So I don't know if you have the access to that right now.
No, unfortunately, this is just a private.
Wait, maybe I can see it on the Discord. Give me a second. So right now on SpeedGaming 2, I think is erased, but other than that, I don't see anything right now here. So maybe later on, but I don't know right now. But yeah, GG's to the runners once again, and had fun again with you, Clearmouse. Thanks for the commentary. Also, thanks for tracking again, Scott, and the rest in the chat. Yeah, gonna give you the mic and say goodbye from my side.
Yeah, no, this was great. Very, very exciting match. You know, finish. Unfortunately, you know, we don't get a game 5, you know, from you, Ravis, but certainly it was a blast being able to, you know, talk about games 3 and 4 with you. So until next time, have a great rest of your day.